happens in marketing and in life is that people are in love with the new. I mean, at the moment everyone's talking about content, and I'm still wandering around saying to myself, how the fuck did we manage to get by without any content on our ads, you know? So, but they like this new word, oh, content, you know, that's really going to change everything. And then I've seen them all come and go. And what people forget is that things don't really change very much. If you look at the people who made more money than just about anyone else in direct marketing were the catalogue marketers. And to your point, every catalogue would, anyone who knew what they were doing would have an order, a request, tell people where to order on the page at least once, maybe twice. You know, it really is true. Almost every, it's terrifying, but almost every cliche you have ever heard, ask and it shall be given unto you. Yeah, nice old one. They're all true. If you don't ask, you won't get. And the more often you ask, the more likely you are to get. The people that I've seen that have been most successful have been those who ask most. And I'll tell you a story now, because I know I've got a gentleman here who's in the music business. So I've got kids in the music business, and I've just come back from New York. And my daughter's boyfriend is a Grammy-winning producer. He's won 3 Grammys with people with strange names like Neo. And I spent 3 hours recording most of his life story with him. And the thing that emerged from it was, this is the most persistent person I ever came across in my life. He kept going on and on and on and on and on. And he went around America delivering packages to people. He went to Missy Elliott's place, said, will you listen to my music? And then eventually got a job with a music magazine, hoping they would listen to his music. And he got in to see a guy called Buster Rhymes, who'd been causing a bit of a fluster lately, who had just become successful. And he's sitting in Buster Rhymes' office with this magazine that he was pretending to work for in the hope he'd get a chance to play his music to someone. And Buster Rhymes' day guy was sitting there, and he says, and they're there hour after hour, Buster Rhymes is throwing people out of his room. He's listening to producers and saying, this is rubbish, I want something original. And eventually this guy looks at Cy and his colleagues, and he said, what are you doing here? We want to interview Buster. And said, you've got no chance. And then he looks at Cy and says, I can't repeat the language in such a polite Greek, you know. I used to be known as Drayton F blank blank ing Bird. So he said, what the F are you doing here? And he said, I'm hoping to hear my music. What is your effing problem? Get in there. Play the music to the A&R man. Goes and plays the music to the A&R man. And the A&R man says, he says, play another one. Then he says, play another one. And then the other guy who's been lurking outside springs in. He says, what is your effing problem? He said, why haven't you played this to us? Because nobody had asked him to, yeah? He says, and then he turns to the A&R man and he says, pay the man what he's worth. Yeah? Which went all through the music industry. And the night before that, Cy was sleeping on a love seat which was too short to lie down in and too low to sleep in properly. And about 3 weeks later he started working with Jay-Z and Beyonce, and it was all because of persistence. And if you want people to buy things from you, you've got to be persistent, not just in your actions, but in your communications, you know. It really is true. It's terrible, but the older I get, the more I think, God, this is so simple. I couldn't believe it was that simple. It really is that simple. Yeah, you ask more, you know. And then you say, and if you do it, I'll give you so and so. And I'll tell you what, if you do it now, I'll give you so and so and so and so. And I'll tell you what, if you buy it now, I'll give you so and so and so and so. And if you try such and such as well, I'll give you so and so. Yeah? Nothing new about it. I'd like to say that I invented this. Nothing new. It's very, very old, you know. Very, very old. One of the problems with human beings is they do not study history. They're so much in love with the new thing. The new thing. Yeah. Nothing new. The medium may be new. But I would think, you know, one of the things that I've found recently is that and you probably know this, if you do a video, yeah, and you put captions under it, it works better. It's easy for people to take in. And I just started doing this, and I suddenly remembered that in 1962 I read Reality in Advertising by Rossa Reeves, the man who invented the USP, and he talked about why it's important to have captions in your commercial. Nothing changes. It's the same, and then you think, oh well, how did my children learn to read? Picture of dog, dog. Yeah? We are conditioned to do these things. What you've got to do is to try and think, no, can I simplify what I'm trying to do as much as possible? Because that's what it's all about. It's just about sheer simplicity.